Hi, this is Regina Y. Favors with Favors Marketing Lessons. So, this is a discussion of the ad campaign, the digital ad campaign that I conducted from March 23rd till about April 3rd. And I utilized Facebook ads, Instagram ads, LinkedIn. And the goal was to employ three marketing goals, which were to build brand awareness, drive traffic to the website, and then create an online consumer base. And then the websites are essentially the Regina Y Favors website, the Amazon Author page, and then the YouTube channel. And so I did publish these results. The Regina Y Favors website digital marketing plan 3-month case study ad campaign number one. So the 3-month case study is from March 23rd till about June 23rd, and today is May 9th, 23rd. And so I've already run two, and I still have to analyze the results from campaign number two. And then I hope to end campaign number three June 23rd, 2023. So this is the first digital ad campaign, number one, favors marketing lessons, basic. And then in this particular presentation, I go over certain select digital marketing terms to apply to the analytics of the information that I was able to get from running the ads. So again, this is favorites marketing lessons, basic digital marketing terms, tools with sample ads that I created for campaign number one, and then the lessons I learned. So this, because I am using sometimes summarized or paraphrased versions of certain definitions, and then also pick sources, this presentation is subject to fair use. So this is a quick overview. The Regina Y Favors website, digital advertising plan, 3-month case study, digital ad campaign number one, where I used both sponsored and manual uploads, just to get an idea of what will be the difference between the sponsored ads, and then what will be the difference between um, the ones that I uploaded. So the platforms were Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and then LinkedIn. And then for Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest, because it is most cost effective, meaning that I don't have to bust my budget, then I'm going to deploy more ads through those platforms. LinkedIn is least cost effective. You can start out with $100 budget and actually exceed that, because the advertisers are competing. Once you create the ad and then begin to execute that, the advertisers are competing for that very same audience that you are appealing to. And so it's easy to exhaust that $100 within a day. Therefore, it is a secondary to tertiary concern, because it is least cost effective. So digital ads utilize call to action. There is about one or two ads where I'm not consistent, but I basically use the terms visit, subscribe, shop now, and then any sort of related converting language. Now, the goal was not necessarily to convert. The goal was to build brand awareness and get people, drive online consumers to the website, thereby creating an online consumer base. But it is important, if you're going to create an ad, to create converting language. And so that's why I went on ahead and just added certain call to action terms. And then all ads did have some sort of website reference, whether it was the Amazon author page or the website or the YouTube channel. So the time period for this digital advertising campaign number one ran um, different time periods, but sort of within the same ones. Pinterest is a 10-day time period for a certain dollar amount. Facebook, Instagram is a tend to be 7-day. Of course, you can always boost again, but they tend to be 7 day. And then LinkedIn, of course, is also 7 day. So the marketing goals, again, all of the digital ads were created based on the following marketing goals: build brand awareness, drive traffic to the website, and then create an online consumer base. And so then it was from a certain platform to particular to three types of websites: the main website, the Amazon author page where I house all of the books for purchase, and then the YouTube channel where I create the videos and upload. And so that's what the main goal was. These three main marketing goals were to build brand awareness, drive traffic to the website, create an online consumer base. So, learning objectives. By the end of this marketing lesson, students will be able to do the following: review sample digital marketing vocabulary, apply digital marketing terms and tools to select digital ads, and then create an engagement to conversion plan by encouraging a narrative world for the brand. And the narrative world for the brand comes from a film director, film instructor, director. I think his name is Houston Howard, and he was talking about how you have to be great at storytelling and create a narrative world for your characters. And so people tend to connect to brands, to products via story. And so that's what I decided after analyzing the results, that people need to make a connection to the Favors brand and Favors product. So these are your learning objectives. So these are the learning resources. Remember, there's the main tentative marketing plan for the website. What you see here is the condensed version. The full version houses the education campaign, which were all of the blog articles I created. And then, of course, these are the results for the ad campaign. I went on ahead and published them under the digital marketing plan umbrella. And this looks at a 3 month case study for campaign number one. So these resources are available on on Amazon. So then the we're looking at a concept introduction, concept exploration, concept application for marketing strategy, right? Because we are attempting to market Favors brand, the website, brand of products, etc. And so we want to look at how that is done. So this is the select vocabulary. I'm already in the process of creating another book for it's going to be a Favors marketing lessons 102, a digital marketing guide. But for right now, I only want to look at the select vocabulary that is explored within this particular lesson here, and that is your concept exploration. So remember, there's concept introduction, concept exploration, and then concept application, and that's what we're going to do throughout this lesson. So there's digital marketing, call to action, conversion versus engagement, four pillars of conversion, four types of engagement, conversion rate, impressions and related terms, and then pay per click advertising. So let's look at an introduction to digital marketing vocabulary and tools. And this again are select terminology with digital ads. So here's a quick definition that I came up with just as a result of kind of researching this term, and I'm still introductory to this, so I it's a learning. I am a work in progress with this. Digital marketing terms and tools represent a platform of glossary and vocabulary terms and social media marketing platforms specific to understanding online content marketing processes. Digital marketing terms define a website visitor's behavior and online customers' actions and the costs associated with running multiple advertising campaigns on various social media marketing platforms and through advertising programs. And advertising programs will be, say, Bing, Google, any of the independently search engines. Those are your individual advertising programs. YouTube, right? And then, of course, you have your social media marketing platforms that you have to understand there's a difference. And then digital marketing uh, would include both the or would be or would accompany the tentative marketing plan or a marketing plan, a social media marketing plan, as well as any other type of advertising program. And that's why you have to truly understand what digital marketing is, because there are different types of terms and tools and strategies and platforms and programs that you would have to tap into and determine whether or not you have the budget to see that advertising program all the way through. So, call to action. This is an ad that I created for the Amazon author page. And there is a call to action, shop now. So, call to action is defined as the element of a web page that encourages online visitors towards an action. This includes a clickable button with an image, text, or graphic that uses an imperative such as shop now. So, for this, I did not create the clickable button. I just have shop now, but I did add the Amazon author address. So going forward, when I create further digital ads, I will need to create a clickable type button within the ad. Now, when I post to, say, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, any other type of platform, there is a link where online consumers can click out or click to that website. Conversion. So conversion is defined as an online customer's completion of a predefined goal. Conversion is tracked to determine the number of site visitors who converted into paying customers. Conversion might include subscriptions. So anyone, once they click your ad or click your post, what is the predefined goal that you hope that they would accomplish, right? And so one of those goals could be to subscribe to your channel, or or to click out. There's engagement and reach, and then there's actually clicking to your website. And so if you want them to click to your website, then that definitely has to be clear within the post or in the ad itself, so that they access your website and then they complete a contact form, or they purchase a product, or they subscribe, right? That is a predefined goal that you are hoping to increase your conversion rate. So, conversion versus engagement. Conversion is defined as when the user takes the brand's action from the content, such as clicking a link or taking a specific action on a web page or platform. So, again, that could be subscription, contact form, submission. And then conversion is having a customer mindset, right? Being in the mindset of the customer. So that's why when you are creating the ads, you want to be sure that it's not too busy, of course, and it's and it's more directive, taking them to a location so that they can complete the goal. So engagement is defined as a site user who likes, comments, and or shares on content. Engagement can be predictive, but engagement does not guarantee more conversions. Engagement is more online consumer mindset, brand mindset, right? So you want to engage. Like I had very high engagement with the digital ads that I created. And then there were some conversions in terms of clicking out to a website or something like that so that I could get some analytics from my own website or the Amazon author page. But the engagement was higher, or the reach was high. Well, the reach was higher. The engagement has had some kind of percentage to it, but there were very low conversions. So then I have to make sure that I understand the purpose of my digital ads so that I can also include conversion. But remember, this ad campaign was about building brand awareness. So conversion versus engagement. So you have the four pillars of conversion, which is customer base, four types of engagement, which is consumer base. So strategy and culture, tools, technology, people skills, people and skills, process and methodology. So these four pillars of conversion, how will you convert your customer is essentially. And then four types of engagement: contextual engagement, engagement of convenience, emotional engagement, social engagement. And so that's essentially once they access your website, you want them to stay on your website. It's the same thing with YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. These are the three major platforms that people live on. It's almost like they consider it their home. So the ads that you create and the products that you push as solutions for whatever issue they're going after, that has to have high engagement so that they will stay there. And then, of course, it has to connect to a button where they will push in order to access your product. So, um, having a customer versus consumer mindset is always going to be tricky, because you don't always want to push for people to buy. You want them to stay on your website as well, because you want to see what the numbers are, where they tend to hover. That's another digital marketing term, where they tend to hover, what section of your website that they tend to stay on. But eventually you got to make money, and that's why you still have to push strategies, tools, people, and then a methodology. So, four pillars of conversion: customer mindset. So again, strategy and culture, how customer centricity aligns with organizational growth. Tools and technology, how tools and technology are used to fulfill a comprehensive customer experience. People and skills investments a company makes in their people to create a multi uh, disciplinary team. Process and methodology, approach a business takes to deliver customer service improvements with the customer led mindset. So that means the process and methodology is going to be sort of like the analyst part of your process, so that you can understand where do you need to improve. That means you're going to have to figure out whether your people and skills have the capacity and the expertise to keep it going, whether the tools and technology are inhibiting the process of converting from consumer to customer. And then how we all understand as a organization that the customer is central, right? Is central to organizational growth. And so we need to design marketing plans and marketing strategies to ensure that the customer feels like a valued customer. So then, four types of engagement: consumer mindset and brand mindset. So in contextual engagement, and I added all these different sentences based upon my understanding. But contextual engagement, what a consumer's behaviors, both historically and reality, say about them, focuses on individual experience. And so I typically purchase over $200 worth of shoes annually, right? That's the context for that person. Engagement of convenience. Engagement should be easy and convenient, which allows a brand to understand the customer's individual needs, buying cycles, triggers, and price points to reinforce the desire to buy. I usually buy on Saturdays, and that can be very true for certain people. They feel more comfortable on a Saturday or a Sunday purchasing a product when they have to go in person. Emotional engagement: consumers stress emotional value leading to investment, focusing on the individual's ideal environment for making decisions. I'm invested in this product. And you know that you back up your investment with the actions and your behaviors. That the first thing you do is you go to Facebook, or the first thing you do is you go to Instagram, right? So you are invested in the product called Instagram or Twitter or Facebook. Social engagement: the feeling of having more influence over the buying decisions of my network or over any marketer. So I determine what and when I buy. So even if you are presenting me with options, and trying to push one option over the other, I'm going to be the one with my purchasing power to determine what and when I buy. So here's a question for consideration, and it's for me. So how do I get these online consumers who may reflect a customer mindset to become a customer of a famous branded product? And so in thinking about and thinking about the customer mindset, and thinking about the conversion mindset and the engagement mindset, that is something that I'm going to have to think about, because you have to look at them as all prospective customers who purchase your product. But until you build enough brand awareness and people trust your product, they will always consume. And one thing that Houston Howard said in the audio lesson was that there's so much competition for eyeballs. So whatever you put forward, and he was pushing the narrative to create a narrative. Whatever you push forward, you're going to have to be a great storyteller, and so that's how people are going to connect with your brand. So that is something that I have to consider, because it is a very interesting thing, moving one customer from a certain state of mind to another state of mind. So this is the digital ad campaign results for Facebook, and then also this is included. Instagram is included because from my Facebook author page, I can boost to Instagram. So I just didn't. I just didn't reference it here, but consider that this is also Instagram as well. So digital ad number one campaign results. So again, here are your marketing goals and the three primary where build brand awareness, drive traffic to website, create targeted consumer base, and look at that as an online consumer base. So these are the ad campaign results for the Facebook from the Facebook author page. So this is where I got the analytics, and then this is your date, right? And then the goal, of course, was to get more engagement. And you can see that the reach was very high. The money spent was $225 on 11 ads because I had more than one ad, of course. The reach was very high. The engagement has some some numbers to it. Link clicks was 69, but I did not have page likes during this ad run. So this is a summary of all the results, but now we're going to get into some of the individual results. So let's look at some definitions of reach so that we understand what we are looking at. So reach, how many people see your post in news feeds? Link clicks, the count of the number of times your links in an ad, media, or call to action have been clicked. So however many times that my particular ads have been clicked. And then post engagement, how many people interact with your post? That means they're sharing, commenting, clicking on a link. So that was 1,000, right? Page likes showing support for the pages and that they want to see content from it. So as a result of running these ads, I did get a lot of notifications of people um, sort of accessing the page, and then I sent out an invite. And so I got a significant number of people to invite. So hopefully when I continue to create these ads and post more content, that the page likes will actually go up. So here's the ad that I referenced earlier, and so we see how much I spent on it. We look at the reach. The reach was high enough, right? The post engagements were 102. Then we had link clicks for 4 and post shares. I kind of like this because blue is my favorite color. So I had some really high engagement on this. I think this was the very first one that I created because I'm creating all of the ads. And so this is my very first time actually knowing how to do this. And so this makes me feel kind of good to know that this particular ad got a lot of reach as well as engagement. Okay, this is the one that I was actually shocked that got more engagement, and again, this is to the Amazon author page, so it's like find your book, affordable titles. We have a large selection of books for great prices, from romance to financial recovery to life planning, and so these are the descriptions that I'm actually creating. Um, you get a template, and then you just kind of tailor that template. Now, find your book is different from shop now, right, or shop or buy or something like that, but it's a way to ease online consumers into the process of visiting the Amazon author page. And then this reach was 983, and I was kind of shocked by that. And maybe it's because the person is sitting down on a couch reading a book. It could be that picture, right? The picture came with the template, so I didn't add another picture. But there were 7 link clicks, there were post comments, and then at least one post share. So I thought this was a very interesting. The amount went up because it seems like once advertisers, I mean, platforms know that you want to advertise with them, they seem to increase it themselves. So I went on ahead and just let it be $35. Now the reach going up to 983 could suggest um, that the reach was high because of the more money I spent. So that could be a factor. So, Overcoming Setback Collection, these are the 2 books that are housed on Amazon author page, and there was a high reach. I did maintain the $35 spent over 7 days. The post engagements were high, so there were 4 link clicks, post comments, and post shares. And so your post shares and post comments are going to be more on the engaging side. The link clicks could be possibly on the conversion side. And so I won't know if I really won't know if those link clicks are successful beyond someone clicking those links until online consumers convert into customers who purchase the product. So this is the YouTube channel one that I created, and I thought it was kind of interesting. We accept you, so I was kind of being kind of funny or something, or trying to be, kind of unique. And we accept you, accepting new YouTube subscribers. Join us, subscribe now. So there is actual language, call to action language, to get individuals to click out, right? And then, of course, there's a link in the post. But the reach was very low, and the engagements were very low, and the amount was $19 paid. There were two link clicks and post comments, but I would think that people just knowing it is YouTube is enough. But maybe what I found that I'm going to have to get a little bit more creative for the YouTube channel in order to get that reach up. So we're looking for you. I think this is one of the first ones I created. We're looking for you, and this is to the website. So I have different tabs where you can conduct a gap assessment or assess your relationship readiness. And so click the tabs for more information once you get to the site. So the engagement was low for this, right? The post engagement, I mean, the reach was low. The reach was high enough for what I was trying to accomplish, but the post engagements were low. There were post comments, link clicks, and post shares, and the amount was just spent $18 over 7 days. So I may have to get a little bit more creative, maybe create a separate ad where it's just conducting a gap assessment and maybe a bullet point list, and then link out to that website. So it's going to take a little bit of time to work with this ad, or create another one that is kind of similar. So conversion rate, let's look at conversion rate. So conversion rate is defined as the rate at which site visitors complete a predefined goal. Conversion rate is calculated by dividing the number of goal achievements by the total number of visitors. So if you have 100 people who visit your site and 10 people subscribe, then the conversion rate is 10%, right? So total number, if your goal is to get people to subscribe, right, and you have 10 people who visit your site and they accomplish that, then you have your conversion rate is 10%. Now, whether or not that is the conversion rate you want will depend upon your marketing goal, but that's how you calculate the conversion rate. A good conversion rate would be around 2% to 5%. 2%, 20 of your visitors made a purchase. And this tells you how many people completed a goal of buying something or filling out a form. So the contact form, you can always create a digital ad for a contact form, right? Send us a message if you have any issues, things like that concerning a product, want to reveal something. That could be a digital ad. But essentially, that's what a good conversion rate would be. Okay. So for this digital ad, number one, I spent less but got more engagement. Okay, so again, this is what you see in terms of the budget, the duration, the start end date, right? This is also a boosted post, and this one was about here is your basic Facebook description. So visit our Amazon author page to review and purchase titles, something just basic like that. Of course, I would have to get more creative if I want the reach and the conversion rate to go higher. So, looking at this side by side, what the performance was, right, for this particular digital ad and the performance. So the reach was high, the engagements had a significant number. But the goal, my future goal is going to have to get that link click up, right? However, again, the original goal was to get more engagement. And then here's your audience, which is something that I thought was interesting because in previous audios, I talk about how I thought my audience would be 18 to 45. And then once I ran the digital ads, I see that there is sort of like neck and neck, distribution between the genders, women and men. But look at that number 65 plus, and then 55 to 64, and then skip over to 25 to 34. That's an audience. that is actually my audience. So my audience is really not necessarily 18 to 45, because if you look at 18 to 24, they could care less. Now on this, I increased the audience 18 to 65 plus because it was just easy to add the numbers. But in my original tentative marketing plan, my demographic, I assume, is 18 to 45. And this right here shows me different. Okay, looking at it side by side, of course, in terms of looking at the performance and the audience, just a quick note of that. So again, the reach is high, and we have a distribution between women and men: 58.9% for women and 41.1% for men. And so, just a quick summary: reach was 542, engagement 102. I spent $19 for that duration. There is a distribution between men and women, and then the analysis. Just a quick analysis: I spent less but got more engagement. So here's the digital ad number one campaign results for Pinterest. And Pinterest is a 10-day. So you can set it at $5 a day or $10 a day for 10 days. I think you can still, you can decrease the days, but I just went on ahead and let it go that way so I can see what it looks like. So let's look at a few terms first. So impression, term used in pay-per-click advertising, which determines how many times an ad was shown on a screen. And then impression share used in pay-per-click advertising refers to the percentage of times site visitors have seen an advertiser's ad compared to the total possible amounts that ad could have been seen. If an ad's impression share is 70%, then the ad showed 7 out of 10 times. Okay, so here's the formula for that. And um, for example, if your impressions was 1,000, but your total eligible impressions was 10,000, then your impression share is going to be 10%. So you can look online for different types of visuals just by clicking it, just by conducting a Google search impression share pick, and this will give you different types of ways to see how to do this. Okay, so understanding pay-per-click advertising. So pay-per-click advertising is a method of driving traffic to a website by paying the publisher every time an ad is clicked. Cost per click, amount of money spent for a click on an ad in a pay-per-click campaign. Click-through rate. Click-through rate refers to how many times people click on an ad after they see it. And then it is calculated by dividing the number of clicks on the ad by the number of impressions. And remember that the number of impressions is how many times your ad was seen. So let's look at how this looks as a formula. So clicks, number of people who clicked the ad over the impressions, number of people who saw the ad. And again, you can conduct a Google search, click-through rate formula or click-through rate pick, and you will find information about this. So let's look at the 3 digital ads: Amazon author, YouTube channel, website via Pinterest. So we're still on Pinterest. And the top pins, and I wonder if these are top pins just because I sponsored them, but I think I sponsored other ads as well. And these seem to be the top pins, right? And these are a summary of results. So the top pin that got more impressions and outbound clicks was the Overcoming Setback books, right? And then the ad that goes to the Amazon author page got some impressions. And then there's your YouTube channel ad as well. And so then you have saves from each of these top pins. Now, the summary of results, the performance, don't pay attention to the last 30 days. We already know what the duration is. So I got 122.98 thousand impressions, and then I got 6 saves and 47 outbound clicks. Now these are very low numbers in terms of saves and outbound clicks. However, for an individual who is just starting out and the goal is to build brand awareness, this is kind of unique for what I'm trying to accomplish. So pay attention to this. So top pins, these are your top pins, and these are a summary of results. So now let's look at them individually. Let's do a little bit of defining first. So impressions defined as the number of times your pins or ads were seen on a screen, right? Engagements defined as the number of engagement on your pins. Now, understand there's a different way to look at engagements for every advertising platform. And then bloggers individually prefer pins with 1,000 outbound clicks. So I'm nowhere near that right now, but that would be interesting to see going forward. So outbound clicks, Pinterest defines as the as the total number of clicks to a pin's destination URL by by the total number of times your pin was seen. That's your outbound click rate. Facebook defines outbound clicks as the number of clicks on links that take people off Meta. So that's interesting to think about because it's if your goal is to keep people on your website, you don't want them really clicking off your website. So looking at how Facebook perceives outbound clicks will be a good way to use their strategy or their understanding for how you want to make sure that people stay on your website and they don't click off. And that the only way they click off is if they are clicking off to your e-commerce store. And then outbound click rate, the higher the ratio, the more enticing your PN is inclined to click through to a website. So a good rate is around 33%, and an excellent rate is 50%. And then, of course, the poor will be 20%. So I'm nowhere in the outbound click rate, whether 33, 50, or 20. So that's something that I want to work on. So summary of differences, just to make sure you have a very good understanding of this. So impressions defined as the number of times your pins or ads were on screen. Engagements defined as number of engagement on your pins. So that those are your saves. Bloggers, when they are looking at pins or prefer certain types of pins, they want the ones that get 1,000 outbound clicks. Outbound clicks, Pinterest defines them as the total number of clicks to a pin's destination URL by the total number of times your pin was seen. That's your outbound click rate. Facebook defines outbound clicks as the number of clicks on links that take people off Meta. And then, of course, an outbound click rate where it's 33 is a good rate, 50 as an excellent, and 20% as poor. So let's look at these three digital ads again, the top pins, and then the costs that were associated with it. So maybe in some ways that because the impressions were high due to the spend, but you see that only the YouTube channel and the Amazon author page um, got low impressions. Remember also, I don't see my website. I didn't think about this until right now that one of the top pins is not my website. So that's something that I'm going to really have to think about. Also, there's an overview in terms of the top pins. So there's your total number of impressions, engagements, total audience, engaged audience. And so you need to know all the differences between these terms. And I'm going to go over that now so that you understand what you are doing in terms of your digital marketing. And you have to determine what is important for you. If you don't really care so much about the total number of engaged audience, but you care about the impressions and the total number of people who engage your digital ad, and you don't care about all this fancy uh, digital marketing terminology, that's something that you have to think about on your own. However, going forward, if you are gaining a lot of traction on any of your products, you're going to have the analytics and be able to understand what's going on. So your engaged audience, and this is for Pinterest, your engaged audience, the number of people who have engaged with your pins. So um, as you listen to me read the left side, look over to the right side, right? So your engaged audience, the number of people who have engaged with your pins. So engaged audience is 274 for our pins. Total audience, the total number of people who have seen or engaged with your pins. This includes pins you've created or saved, both organic and ads, as well as any pins that have been saved from your claimed website or claimed accounts. Pinterest total audience, total number of people who have seen or engaged with pins across Pinterest. And then Pinterest engaged audience, the number of people who have engaged with pins across Pinterest. So this includes people who click or save your pins. So this can get kind of confusing. Each of the Platforms, advertising platforms have literature, have a help section, learning resources. And so you're going to have to take some time to learn about what's going on, how they interpret the data, as you continue your own learning process with digital marketing. And also, the information that you see here is directly quoted from the Pinterest website. So let's look at the performance impressions, which were 121,000, and then the engagement was at 360. So these are the numbers that you get. This is the data that you get when you run and complete the ad. Okay, pin clicks was at 311, outbound clicks was at 47. Saves were at 6. And so that's something that I would like to do, because when I would like to increase, because saves suggests that people have connected to that pin, whatever the message is, and they think on some level that they can benefit. And that's how I am. Sometimes if you want to think about how a consumer might think about your product, sometimes think about yourself. That what do you do? What are your habits? There are a lot of pins I'll save, or a lot of content I'll save. Some things I'll print out because something about it pulls me in, and I want to know more about it. Then engagement rate is at 0.29%, and so I'm still sort of in this mathematical analysis loop where I'm still trying to understand everything. So don't quote me on whether or not this is good or not. I can't tell you that right now. This is what the data presents. So pin performance saved. So sign of intent of people who save pins because they want to revisit the pin later. And then good sign that idea is resonating and people want to try it for themselves. And so if you want people to continually engage and save your pins as part of your digital marketing plan, because if people love to return to Pinterest, they're going to see that pin again on their, I guess, on their profile. And so they're going to click it, share it, whatever is copy and paste it to their Facebook profile. And so that means it would be a good idea to create inspiration pins, so that and then you could also run them as ads, right? And it just further reinforces this idea that people want, that the ideal is resonating for them. And then of course you can always add your website address or the Amazon author page or book title or something like that, so that they also click out. So pin performance, pin engagement rate. So percent of your pins with at least one repin. So you should have at least one repin in terms of your engagement rate. All pins should be repinned at least once. And then you want to get closer to 100%. So a good engagement rate is subject to the campaign, the digital campaign, advertising campaign, the audience, and your budget. So the longer, I guess, the more money that you put in to advertising these pins, hopefully that could increase to 100% or more. So then let's look at the side by side for the pin click rate and then the outbound click rate. So that's 25 and then 0.04. The save rate, we don't have really a save rate, but there's a total audience, which is about 19. The save rate is a little under 2.0, right? But the audience is at your 19, the total audience closer to 19K. The engaged audience, somehow I couldn't get the numbers, but we can look at it as under 60. And then your monthly total audience is closer to 90K. And then engaged audience is closer to 60. Monthly engaged is closer to 292. And then impressions, remember impressions versus engagements here. So it looks like the overcoming setback titles tend to get more impressions. And then the total engagements for it is about 225. And then the visit our Amazon page is right up under it at 43,000, and then the engagement is 71. And so the YouTube channel is lower, and it seemed like the YouTube channel is lower throughout, and so that's something that I have to study. So pin clicks, outbound clicks. Now, interesting. There's a little bit of No, it's exactly the same. So the overcoming setback titles is still high at 197 total paying clicks, 29 clicks out. And then of course the Amazon page and subscribe button to the YouTube channel, they tend to come right after. Impressions, total saves. So again, it's the same pattern for the impressions, but not for the saves. Interesting. So the overcoming setback title still at 61 total impressions. Visit our Amazon page 43. Subscribe to the YouTube channel 18,000. But there's a little bit of a switch. There seems to be more people who saved for the visit our Amazon page versus the overcoming setback titles, and then there's more saved from the YouTube channel than there is for the overcoming setback title. So that's kind of interesting. So practical application, what I learned. So lessons, what I learned about digital marketing for ad campaign number one, and insights for one book title. So remember, this is concept introduction. We've already done that. Concept exploration, looking at the different terms, and now we're going to look at the application. So, theory of digital marketing. The theory of digital marketing represents a customer led positioning theory. The theory holds that the customer shows the digital marketer what he or she wants in a product. The customer offers insight for digital marketers about prices, product features, and product functions. So remember, there's a lot of engagement with the overcoming setback titles, which tells me when you connect it to the audience being 65 plus, 55 to 64, and I think 25 to 34 or something like that, that people may have experienced one or more life setbacks and they need a title like that. That's going to be a solution for them. So that's something to think about, because the digital marketing theory is essentially suggesting that the customer shows the digital marketer what he or she wants in a product. So, a useful strategy for obtaining and retaining customers includes the following: acquire, convert, retain, grow. That's why the building brand awareness creates the acquirement strategy. And then converting is based upon how long they stay engaged on your website, and if they're willing to move over to the buy button. And then, of course, retain can be through coupons or something like that, and then grow someone who shares your book on a Kindle format, or buy one for a friend, a gift, or something like that, right? So conversion suggests that the customer is doing what you set the digital marketing goals for him or her to do. So for this first campaign, I did not set goals. I did not set conversion rate goals. I set building more engagement goals, which include building brand awareness, driving traffic to the website, creating a targeted consumer base, which is online. So here are some applications. So what are the four P's of marketing? So your product, price, place, promotion. So I'm going to go over a few application concepts, and then I go into a little bit more detail after that. Then what are the three C's of digital marketing? So content, correct channels, consistency. And so if my goals are to create brand awareness and generate leads, I need to make sure that the content that I create and the correct channels that I use, and that there is consistency in what I'm doing. What are the three C's of social media tools? So company, customer, competitor. And remember, you are not a competitor on the competitive landscape. You are still considered a niche too, because no one knows their name. No one knows your brand. So you can't, just because you have this product and many people have that same product, and you think by ego we're all the same and we are competing with each other. They're not competing with you're not really competing with them, because you don't have the structure yet to be competitive. And so therefore you have to work on certain aspects of your digital marketing plan and converting goals in order for you to even get within spitting distance of becoming a competitor. But understanding that there are three C's of social media tools is still important. Then the three C's of digital advertising reporting. So these are your research, data analytics, quantitative, qualitative people. And so they're going to look at the community that you are selling the ads, the across platforms, how many different platforms are we seeing that same ad, right? Whether it's on Facebook, Instagram, Medium, YouTube, any of the other Twitter, any of the other types of platforms, and then cost efficiency. So how much can you get more for your dollar without having to pay more? So now let's look at the four P's of marketing again. So that's your product, price, place, promotion. So when I'm thinking about whether or not I want you to purchase any of the products on my Amazon author page, okay, I have to be sure that the product is clear enough. The price, once you access it, because I noticed that when I place a price on a digital ad, I don't get any hits. But when I place it as a link to the Amazon author page, I may get some clicks out. And then, of course, your place. So, where am I placing this type of ad, right? It's going to be on Pinterest. It's going to be on Facebook. It's going to be on Instagram. It's going to be on LinkedIn. But for certain ads on LinkedIn and even Instagram, they may be just manual uploads, right? And then there's a link in the content description, but it doesn't necessarily click out because the links are not necessarily hyperlinked in Instagram, right? Or at least I haven't learned how to do that just yet. But product, price, place, and then promotion. So that's your marketing and promotion. How is this promoted? So then if you're looking at this same type of ad, what's the content, correct channels, consistency? So I could always use this as a major ad, but remember this didn't get as many as reach as the one where I had Find Your Book. The Find Your Book is the one that got a lot more reach. And so then I would have to reassess whether or not running this ad again would be worth it if just running the ad the very first time I got a lot of reach on the other one, then I may have to I may have to change this ad out as a manual upload and not sponsor it. So then the three C's of social media too. So company, customer, competitor. So of course I don't have any competitors just yet because I'm not competitive yet. And so I have to build a customer base. I have to present the company, the Regina Y Favors website as a trusted company, right? As a resource, as a solution for overcoming setback and pursuing life recovery. And then once I've done that, and one of my goals is to visit the Miami Book Fair and begin to give out free gifts so I can get emails. And so it's running an email campaign. And even if I got just 50 people, 25 to 50 people, it gives me some numbers. So then, if I run that same ad, the community, cross-platform, cost efficiency, it's going to be cost effective, and I can run this on multiple platforms, which I did. And then the community could be the Facebook community, but it would also be my Facebook author page as well as my profile. And so, how many people respond to this ad? How many people share this ad would be interesting to know. So the four P's of marketing, if we're looking at the one that got the top pins from on Pinterest, the Overcoming Setback Collection, which is Overcoming Setback, 5 Keys for Entering and Exiting Correction. And then Overcoming Setback Workbook is Processing Towards Life Recovery. But look at this ad though. I say available, I write available online, but not purchased on Amazon. I mean, available on Amazon, but not purchased on Amazon. So when I was thinking about this in terms of assessing ad campaign number one, that is something that I'm going to have to really change the language. That's what I mean. That I was consistent on most of the ads in terms of using call to action language, but there are some ads that I did not, and I'm going to have to reassess this so that even if the initial goal is still to build more engagement or build brand awareness, I still need to use converting language for each of the ads because that's the ad opportunity. So where would I place this in terms of product, price, place, promotion? Um, it will also, whether I activate these 4 P's of marketing, which are your kind of like your standard, will depend upon the call to action language. So that's what I'm going to have to work on in terms of the product. I also might it also might be better to create them as individual. So this is a collection type of digital ad, but creating individual ads for, I mean, yeah, creating separate ads for the individual books would actually be a good idea to determine what kind of traction that I'm getting on the individual books. So when you're looking at this particular ad that is spent at $35, and the reach is very high, the post engagements have some numbers. There are some link clicks, and then comments and post shares. So one of the things that I would like to do then for this particular type of ad is to get that post share up. Right. If you get that post share up, then other people will share the ad. Again, it might be better again to create individual ads for the individual books so that I could measure how many people are sharing the Overcoming Setback book, or how many people are sharing the Overcoming Setback workbook, right? And that will give me some numbers as well. So if we're looking at that, the impressions is still high, engagements is still high, pin clicks tend to focus more on the Overcoming Setback title, outbound clicks on the very same title. And then the impressions are very high for that Overcoming Setback title. However, again, for the saves, there were more saves for the Visit Our Amazon page versus the Overcoming Setback title. So, lessons learned: conversion versus engagement, or engagement versus conversion. Going back to the 4 pillars of conversion, thinking about a customer mindset, that's your strategy and culture, tools and technology, people and skills, process and methodology. So when I'm creating these digital ads, I do need to be in a customer mindset going forward. I still need to sustain the marketing goals, the initial marketing goals, but I also need to create digital ads where I am converting the online consumer into a customer who purchased the product. And then recap the types of engagement: brand mindset versus consumer mindset, so that contextual engagement of convenience, emotional, and social engagement. So, lessons learned for digital ad campaign number 1. So, engagement does not mean conversion. And for some people, we often think just because we post that that's enough that we need to do. But no, engagement does not mean conversion. You can still have people who post, I mean, people who engage your post, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they are people who convert to buy your product. Focus on the individual experience, create a customer led mindset, ensure consumers have autonomy over buying uh, buying decisions, grow in understanding of the digital marketing landscape. So that is something, that's my task. Those are tasks that I have to now adopt, because I everything that is with this ad campaign number 1 is very preliminary, it's very summary. So now I'm going to have to really get a good understanding of what the true digital marketing landscape is. So my process now is to take on a certificate program through Google, where I can learn about digital marketing and then get a certificate in it. So, useful insight that I thought was kind of interesting. So this was a non-sponsored digital upload. So I have the Favors Mentoring School book, right? And I uploaded it. Of course, here is the description, right? Visit reginawhitefavors.com for tips and resources. And then there's my email address, as well as my handles for Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And this non-sponsored digital upload, because you can watch it on the Facebook author page, reached a lot of people. That is very, and this is, I did not run this as an ad, but this reached a lot of people. Now I got one engagement, but I'm actually more concerned about the reach, because the reach is so high without a sponsor. What in the world would it be if I actually sponsored it? And so that's something that I may have to think about, because looking at the ad, it's not typically a true ad. I just did a little PowerPoint version of this, and then I should going forward use call to action language purchase on Amazon.com like I need to do with the overcoming setback collection ad. But I just thought this was interesting. So let me look at the assessment for a minute. So it reached a lot of people with just one engagement. It was not a sponsored digital ad, but the video reached more people. Creating digital ads for video uploads is a consideration. So that means not only the manual uploads, but I would need to look at some sponsor. So probably I still have to put audio to my favors mentoring school sections of the book. And so I might just run them as ads, but that is very interesting to me. So my next tasks: review the previous digital ad campaign for engagement insights, review the digital ads for call to action language, conversion language, create digital ads with the customer in mind, create a culture around the brand, help customers buy into the narrative of overcoming setback and pursuing life recovery, and then create an engagement to conversion strategy plan. So this narrative, I'm going to have to learn how to tell a story. And maybe I could take one of my buyers personas that I created for the tentative marketing plan and begin the process of creating I don't know, a digital ad that focuses on a solution to a person's problem or something like that. So that's going to be my next task. So engagement to conversion strategy plan. And the best way to begin to think about this, moving from engagement, consumer engagement to customer conversion, is to assess your SWOT. So I do assess the SWOT within my actual tentative marketing plan, and I'm going to add some solutions here. So the SWOT for the Regina White Favors website is based on the content and visual design of the site and whether it is set up for online consumer engagement. The next slides outline the advantages and disadvantages of the site's presentation utilizing SWOT and further offer tentative solutions for how to address the problem. The SWOT content derives from the Regina White Favors website tentative marketing plan title. Solutions are added for this lesson. So, the strengths of the site or organization: targeted content that focuses on setback, overcoming setback, life recovery, video discussions connected to the content, publication title links to Amazon.com to encourage purchase of favors branded products. Okay, so then a solution would be sustain the strengths by ensuring the landing page is functional and loads quickly. Ensure content strength so there is value for users to convert from online consumers to customers. And then I'm going to have to adjust content design to encourage brand trust and loyalty. That's a task in and of itself because you can, right now, it kind of functions as a content dump. It also houses videos and downloadable type of documents, but I need to create it as a much more engaging, visually designing type of product so that people will want to live on my website. Weaknesses. The weaknesses of the site are the structure of targeted content because it does not encourage the online consumer to interact without merely reading information and or pushing the YouTube video button. There is no consistent downloadable content to encourage the online consumer to stay on the site. There's no language encouraging online consumers to purchase and or buy Favors branded products. And there's no incentive to become a loyal customer of the Regina Y Favors website and Favors branded products. So here are some solutions. Address weaknesses by creating value for the online consumer. Be consistent in offering value by designing downloadable content. Create incentives in online consumers to become a loyal customer, and make the online consumers feel at home and see the Regina White Favors website as a place they can call home. And so that's something that I'm working on, so that there's ease of use. The landing page has is really good, but all of the different sections are all tabbed at the very top, and it just needs to be a little bit more centralized or streamlined or something like that. So eventually I'm going to have to hire a web designer. Either they're going to reshape that template that I have with WordPress, or just create a whole different website altogether. Opportunities. The opportunities of the site are to create multiple focus buyers personas after conducting research, create convert create content, convert language, which is called action, study and analyze competitor marketing strategies, outline customer segmentation, and conduct competitor benchmark analysis. So in the tentative marketing plan, I do actually offer information about this. But now that I know that my audience or my audience base is really more 65 plus, 55 to 64, and then 25 to 34, I'm going to have to really analyze that segment more. So the solutions would be study the demographics from the digital campaign, number one, create call to action language for all of the different ads, make it easier for online consumers to stay on the site and find the purchase button, convert the website to an e-commerce site so online consumers become immediate customers, measure purchases on the site compared to purchases on Amazon.com. So it's either going to convert the site or create an actual e-commerce site with a little bit of content that's not too content heavy, but people will eventually want to purchase and buy. Threats. The threats of the site include not creating content converting language and online engagement objectives to convert online consumers to customers who buy and to keep online consumers on the site. So that's a lot of information in one sentence, but essentially it's not enough call to action, and it's not enough call to action information to get them to purchase the product. And we also still want to keep them on the website, because the more you stay on the website, I mean, think about you being on Facebook. How many times that you've told yourself you need to get off Facebook, right? Okay, I've been on it too long. I need to quit, downloading the app. But you can't help yourself. You stay on it, you click things, you go from thing to thing, you go back and forth with your profile, other people's profiles. Okay, that's the whole goal, is to stay on that site. Same thing with Instagram. You take pictures, you post them up, you post videos, you do lives, you do all different types of things. So that's one of the things that I'm going to have to study, is the already established social media marketing platforms or social media platforms that keep you on their sites. So here are some solutions. Purchase the services of an e-commerce content designer for the website. Create an online store. Ensure online consumers are not confused about the purchasing process, and then make call to action apparent. So this is a SWOT. So then, now that we've already assessed the SWOT for the website, and also our digital marketing efforts, and then any of the solutions that we're going to have to apply, now we need to build a culture around the brand, the narrative world. One of the things I thought that was kind of interesting about Insecure, the HBO TV series, that it started out as a YouTube channel series, awkward, awkward black girl, Issa Rae, awkward black girl. So she built a whole culture around the brand, about being awkward, about being insecure. That's sort of like the storytelling aspect. And so that would be interesting to study, as create as a case study in terms of marketing, in terms of building a story world. So that's something that I'm going to think about, because I didn't think about that until right now. So the narrative world, building a culture around the brand. So these are the buyers personas that I created for the tentative marketing plan. So Samantha Jensen wants to learn. Erica Newman wants to write. Veronica Swift wants to train. Stephen Jones wants to coach. Mark Scott wants to invest, franchise, and then Nikki Boss Bay wants to influence. And so this is people, the person who wants to learn is the person who has been living in setback for so long that she's tired of being in setback, tired of toxic relationships, tired of, financial setback, and she's ready to learn. Erica Newman is the type of person that she wants to write about this now. She's been trying to find the best idea to write a novel or to write a self help book or anything like that. And so she's interested now in wanting to write about it. Veronica Swift wants to train. So she wants to be a trainer, a person who actually conducts a workshop on how to overcome setback, right? Or how to pursue life recovery, how to create a digital marketing workshop. So she wants to train and maybe use uh, her particular life coaching business as a way to teach emerging small business owners, um, how to market their business. Stephen Coach wants to life coach. So coach is actually life coach, right? So he wants to turn it into a life coaching business, and utilize digital marketing as a way to advance that business. Mark Scott wants to be a person who invests in franchises, right? He's a franchise person. He's a person who would take your self-help idea and make it more franchisable. And then Nikki Boss Bay wants to influence, and every brand would love to have a major influencer. The person who that in today's time is sort of like the top marketing strategy. Who's the next influencer, because they know that that person has a lot of appeal, and is going to bring in a lot of dollars for the brand. So all of these people on some level are me, and I was just looking at this from different categories of people and created them as buyers personas. Of course, I'm not Nikki Balls Bay right now, but when I am designing who would market the brand, that's something that is a category that I'm going to have to think about. So, creating a cultural narrative. A cultural narrative is defined as the historical relationship between an area, people, place, heritage, spiritual connections, and tradition. An example of a cultural narrative is the American dream. So how long do we keep pushing that narrative that you can have your American dream? Narratives may take the forms of essays, fairy tales, autobiographies, news stories. So you'll see that cultural narrative explored in different ways: cartoons, films, books, conferences, individual people pursuing their American dream, different class levels, races, everything. So you put American dream in the center, in the middle, and then you create arrows out to different categories and ways that you can interpret the American dream, and that's how you create the cultural narrative. A master cultural narrative reflects the sharing of stories that guides thoughts, values, and belief systems. A narrative must have three things: a plot, climax, and an ending. So that's why you always have publishers who ask authors, when is your next book? Because they are trying to create a, a master cultural narrative that can be not only marketed but publishable in different mediums. One thing that Houston Howard made a point of in that audio was that many companies are just buying narratives alone because they know that they can take the story and create content for it through multiple digital means. They can do a film, a cartoon, a TV series, video games, different ways of taking that one thing and exploring it in different types of strategies. And then, of course, they would adopt marketing strategies for that. So when you're thinking about your narrative, the ending doesn't necessarily mean that it's the end all be all. It's just the character that you create um, goes through a process that is typical of a narrative structure, and the ending is perceived actually as a resolution, as a solution. So then, when I'm looking at overcoming setback and pursuing life recovery is going to be the solution to the problem, whatever it is, right? The setback. So then I have to create the type of characters that initially have a problem. Now they have to go through an issue, go through correction of their problem, overcome the setback, take the next steps, task, right, to learn, and then pursue life recovery, which is my life, which is my very life. So in other words, I'm I'm creating a cultural narrative of my very life in different character forms. And so the buyer's personas could be a good base to work the storytelling idea. So building the narrative world around the buyer's personas will require adopting a 7-step narrative focused on the following categories. So I'm going to have a look at character, challenges, motivation of that character, the setting, right, the context, obstacles, climax, and closing. Right, so this is what I have to think about in each of these buyers personas. And if I have film scripts that I've already created on different topics, but these, to really best understand the buyers personas, might be advantageous for me to create the actual film scripts based upon them and go through this narrative world here. So, the narrative world and the customer mindset, building and sustaining the narrative world for the favorites brand of products will require designing characters that reflect and or exhibit the values of one or more of the buyer's personas. They are each customer archetypes. Creating a narrative for each will help to tap into the customer mindset and thereby aid in exploring their individual challenges and marketing favors brand of products as solutions for each type of customer. Overcoming obstacles is tantamount to overcoming setback and pursuing life recovery. This is essentially the Favors brand and the Regina Y Favors website vision to become the preferred online curriculum you need for life recovery. So when I build the narrative world based upon the customer mindset, it is likely that I'm going to have to use the buyer's personas and create individual film scripts or books or what TV series or something like that, or video games. I don't know just yet, but that's what I'm going to have to focus on, so that people connect. See, we still connect to the Insecure, even though Insecure is no longer on HBO. The show has been off the air for I think 2 years now. We all still connect to that Insecure, uh, awkward black girl insecure series, in the same way that Succession is about to go off the air, but we still connect to that cable TV series. Think about any other series that you are familiar with, that you want to see, that you connect to, and how invested you are in it as well. So, marketing goals recap. So, the previous strategy, remember, it was building brand awareness, driving traffic to the website, creating targeted consumer base. So, then the new focus strategy are the same marketing strategies, marketing goals, sustain them, but now it is create customers who purchase products. It's going to be primary. And so then sending emails, encouraging testimonials, and assessing returning customers is not something that is primary or secondary or tertiary, because we don't have any customers yet. We have reach, we have engagement, but we have not converted anyone just yet. And so the focus strategy is to still sustain the original marketing goals for ad campaign number one, but going forward for ad campaign number three, I think we're going to have to create customers who purchase products. So these are the references in terms of the resources that you can find. So the 4 pillars of conversion, optimization strategy, 4 types of customer engagement, conversion or engagement, lessons learned, glossary of terms, and then theories of digital marketing, audience insights on Pinterest, story starter, telling your story in 7 steps, and the lessons learned template guide. Okay, so Favors Marketing Lessons is a product of Favors Business Solutions. FMS provides educational and learning materials for small business owners who need the process of marketing planning for their company and products. FMS is an educational solutions provider under Favors Business Solutions. The mission of FMS is to provide marketing educational materials. So you can contact me on my website, reginayfavors.com. And then, of course, you can visit Amazon author page. Thank you very much for listening.